December steelheading? Hey, I'll tell you what, this is awesome. Look at that.
Coming up, there are hundreds of rivers and streams that feed the Great Lakes. During the winter, these streams turn into underfished hotspots for sensational steelhead action. On today's show, Dan Thorne brings Bob to his favorite winter steelhead river. Bob works up a sweat getting to the location, but the hard work pays off soon after they arrive.
Well, good. That walk was not wasted.
And later on, Bob shows us why it's so important to know your electronics.
I can't stress it enough that it's important to know your electronics. Here comes, whoa!
Oh, where are you?
Oh, man! Oh, yeah.
You gotta love it.
Where are you?
All right. Oh, man!
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right,
Oh,
dude. Man, way to slide that one.
Oh, there you got it.
Yeah! There you go. All right. That is a monster.
The Real Fishing Show with Bob Izumi.
Nice one. Whoa! Woo-wee. That was pretty cool. Good stuff. Look at this baby. Biggest pike ever. All right. There it is. Oh, yeah. Good one. Whoa. Here he comes. Yeah. Wow. Look at that. This is what open fishing is all about, right? 16 pounds. Hey, look at there.
Real Fishing is sponsored by Chevrolet, Mercury, #1 on the water, and Tim Hortons.
Hey, folks, that's what I call real fishing. We have the snacks. It's important to have food. We had a little bit of a walk this morning. I think I've got my exercise for the week, month, whatever. Hey, I'm here with Dan Thorne. Dan, thanks for bringing me out fishing. I mean, you're a fanatical steelheader. You love steelhead fishing, right?
I certainly do.
Well, December?
December. Can you imagine weather like this in December?
Hey, for you Canadian viewers, about +5 today. For the American viewers, Fahrenheit, what would that be? Let's see. Let's do the conversion. Above freezing.
That's right.
Pretty warm out. You don't even need gloves, although the water's cold. You know, when it comes to the many rivers, streams, tributaries of all of the Great Lakes, there's phenomenal steelhead fishing, isn't there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right through the fall and again in the spring.
So what do you think? You've been watching the river conditions. It was pretty high. Now it's dropped. What do you think? We got a good chance of catching them today?
I certainly do. I think we got prime water today.
Yeah?
Pea green like we like, and more importantly, the fish like.
Okay, well, we got to cross the river, and hopefully I won't get swept down on a river run through it. And let's see what happens. Let's grab the stuff and go across. I'm going to stick close, Dan, so I'm not holding your hand.
Oh, thank God. So in other words, you're going to take me down with you.
Yeah. You like the height of the river right now? It's good?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.5, 3 foot visibility.
You know, one good thing too, I tell the viewers that having a waiting staff is real important when you're crossing like this, because it really does act like a third leg, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I always say you plant it, then take 2 steps. So it's always planted in a solid spot, eh?
Right. People, you know, don't realize how much velocity and power the current of a river has. Well, actually, I got a low center of gravity, so I'm good. But top heavy doesn't help.
As soon as they sense just a little bit of resistance that's not natural, they'll just spit it right out. Oh, lost it. No, he's coming right at me.
Ah, he deked you out, did he?
Yeah, I thought I lost it. He came rocking right at me.
In the slower water, right, Dan?
Yeah. Feels like not a bad one.
Now, what happened? It started coming right towards you?
Right at me. I thought for sure I lost it.
Wow, that thing is a well-proportioned fish too, isn't it?
Absolutely.
What a day.
Coming at you, Bob.
You've brought a few fish into this corner before over the years?
One or two.
One or two?
One or two.
That's a good-looking rainbow, isn't it? That's exactly what we're looking for today. Okay.
Get a wallowing up there, you might.
That water is cold. Wow. Look at this fish.
Beauty.
All right.
Beauty.
Good one.
Yeah, that's a nice fish.
How did it take that thin float down? Just pop it down, or did it
Actually,
take it
real
slow?
slow. Real slow.
So that water's cold this morning, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Look at this. Well, in this cold water, they have no problem going back, do they? Look at that. Already it's ready to go. So what makes a river good this time of year? Obviously, what makes it bad can be ice flows, slush, all those things that can happen in December, right?
Absolutely.
But the ideal conditions are high water that's dropping and still a bit of color.
Absolutely. As the water's receding, they're finding these pools to hang out for a while until the next rainfall, which will continue up along their journey.
So low and clear makes it tougher.
Much tougher, yes.
And this is clearing up, though. You thought it'd be a little bit more colored.
I thought it would, yes.
What's visibility? Probably 4 feet?
3 or 4 feet, yes.
Now, what about, let's see this float here. This is a Thill Rivermaster float. We've got tubing, silicone tubing above and above with the float and on the bottom of it. Now, you also run shot down, not to just to your fluorocarbon leader, but not beyond it, right?
That's correct. What I like to do is get enough right down at where the fluoro meets the main line, and that assures the bait's getting right down to the bottom. The fish are definitely nose down, within 6 inches of the bottom.
All right. I'm going to get my rod and reel. Hey, folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back for some more reel fishing.
More great fishing when we return.
That float just went boom.
Closed captioning is brought to you by FNCC and MotorExam.com.
That was pretty cool. The float just went boom. You know, hey, welcome back, and this is just a few minutes after Dan caught the first rainbow. He's into another one here, and now you caught that on the far side of the river. I noticed you're fishing that drift just over on the other shore there, right?
Yeah.
Is it a good fish?
This is a good fish. They come in whenever they feel like it.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
You know, I find the fish are a little bigger this time of year than they are early fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, late fall. Fish, I don't know what it is. They seem to be a little bit bigger.
Okay, you need a hand if you want to grab the fish. Grab your rod there, doesn't really matter. Okay.
You just didn't want to get your hands wet again.
Is that water cold?
Oh, is it ever? Is it ever?
Look at that. All right. Pop that hook out. Now, both these fish have been females, have they?
See how it's wrapped around the snout?
Look at that. That's amazing. There.
Beauty.
Go. All right. Good stuff.
Oh, she's ready to go.
She is ready to go. Good stuff. You got a towel. That's handy. Why don't you dry your hands?
Very handy.
Here's your rod.
Oh, that's cold.
Good stuff. Nice fish. That I was watching your float, and his float was going all of a sudden, boom, didn't it?
Yeah, that one went down.
Which is good. The sun's it's still early, you know, this morning too. It's just 10 and change, so it's pretty early. That was good. There we go. That is a chrome, baby.
See that mud coming down?
That's really cool. It's lava. Good, that walk was not wasted. That was worth a fish. Hey, what's in the bag anyway?
Got lunch, Bob.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Oh, got some nice cashews.
You really, you pack a nice lunch.
I can't take credit for it.
No?
No, I owe the credit to Susan. We got some ham, we got some turkey.
I had one jig come out of a smallmouth, and the jig hit me square in the eye, but I was wearing my glasses. So,
Good thing.
yeah. Or if you're eating sandwiches, you never know, especially when I'm really hungry. Safety glasses, you want to wear them around me. Oh, jumping. That fish looks so fresh, doesn't it? Whoa. Yeah.
Up next on Real Fishing.
Electronics are one of the most important tools available to anglers.
Let's take a look down under with this week's Fish Eye View, sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water. Ever since we started fishing, someone's been telling us to be quiet or you'll scare them away. That was good advice then, and it still is today. Unfamiliar sounds like boat noises, loud talking, and careless waiting put fish down. That's why modern outboards are designed to be just this quiet. Bear in mind, all these sounds were recorded using a heavy underwater housing, complete with the hum of a working camera. Thing is, fish hear a lot better than this. They can detect the pulse from a struggling minnow at a great distance, and the sound of active feeding is an invitation for others to join the party. Bottom noises can also have a positive effect. Dragging sinkers, for example. Similarly, a jig tapping on rocks can help trigger reluctant fish. Factor in a rattle, and the effect is that much greater. For covering water, noisy crankbaits draw fish in, while repeat casts pick up the slack. When you avoid negative sounds and make the right kind of noise, it's like ringing the dinner bell.
Electronics are one of the most important tools available to anglers. Let's face it, without your underwater eyes, it'd be hard to know what's underneath you, especially in deep water situations. The fact is, they've revolutionized the way we fish. Whether using electronics to find structure, fish, or to mark locations, they're a must-have for any serious fisherman. On a recent trip to Georgia, I was fishing for largemouth bass on a lake I'd never been on before. Without electronics, I would have been at a loss as to where to begin. The sonar helped me locate drop-offs adjacent to shallow flats, and that's where the fish were. I just saw how that dropped off here, too. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, this is a great deep area right up here, and there's a flat as it pulls in here. There's a flat right up there, and it's a great place to catch, fish.
Another time I was searching for late fall smallmouth on Lake Erie. Good electronics are essential for locating fish on a massive lake that size. It's being said that 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water. On Lake Erie, that leaves a lot of fishless water. On this day, a quality sonar was especially important because we were looking for very subtle changes in the bottom. These changes are going from a soft bottom to light gravel and small rocks. A good sonar will have a high number of pixels to give you the resolution needed to detect these subtle changes. I got the front row of the theater here watching the X-26. Oh yeah, the bottom's coming up again here. Just a little irregularity here you're talking about. Very, very subtle. And we're right beside the GPS spot. Whoa! Whoa. Can you believe that?
It's got a hit too.
I would say that's easily 4+. Now that's a square fish,
It is. Look how fat it is.
Look at that. Right now there's a change in bottom.
Oh, it's just a faint. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
very faint. But that fish was relating to this somewhere along here. Finding these subtle changes can be a bit of work, but it sure does pay off. Knowing how to adjust your sonar is key to determine the type of bottom you're over. Let me show you. Let me just go into pages. I'm going to switch from map to sonar. And what we've got here is a simulator mode. It's showing the bottom makeup. A lot of irregularities here. You've got a lot of fish suspended and on bottom. I like to use my sensitivity on manual mode. And if I put it on menu here, you can go to auto sensitivity or manual. Let's enter manual sensitivity. You've got a small gauge over here. With the arrows, you can go up or down. If I put it too far down, you'll see how white the screen is. I'm not getting the maximum out of this unit. But if I boost it up to, say, 85 or 90%, now what I've got is some really good readings. I've got some surface clutter here. That's good. That's showing that I've got the sensitivity up. I've got suspended fish and a good detailed bottom. It just gives you a lot more definition with your unit. Recently in Eastern Ontario, I was jigging for late season crappies. We were watching the graph for big schools of fish in 20 to 25 feet of water. We moved around slowly with the electric motor, and once we located a large school, we dropped a small jig down to them. Boy, there's a lot of fish down there on the graph. It's just full of them down there.
There's a nice crappie.
Mr. Crappie? All right. Spotting the suspended fish on the sonar is especially important when trolling because it will show you what depth the fish are at. You can see the fish here too. Look at just going through deep water basin out here, marking a few fish scattered through there. Once you find out how deep the fish are, then you can match the depth with your lure. I can't stress it enough that it's important to know your electronics. The menu on the Lowrance units are really user-friendly. I mean, with one push of the button, you can get into finding streets, map orientation, overlay data, map data, categories. Press it again. You've got all kinds of things, sounds in the screen, the GPS setup. And don't be afraid to use it. It's like jumping in a brand new Suburban. Recently, when I got a new truck, I jumped in and I started to use all the different buttons just to see what they would do. You want to familiarize yourself with this unit. In fact, I'm just going to scroll down here to Florida. I got back from a trip down in Florida. I was down at the FLW Series tournament in southern Florida at Lake Okeechobee, and I'll show you just some of my trails here. Now, every day when I was out practicing looking for potential spots to fish, what I would do is I would use a different trail. And why I did this is I didn't want to cover the same water twice while I was practicing. I wanted to scout as much new water as I can. And as you can see here, I have a blue trail. One day I had a purple trail. And I was just marking all the areas I fished. Then the next day I'd go into a different area of the lake. And once again, I would save my trail in a different color. And once you catch a fish, make sure you mark the spot. This will allow you to find that spot again with ease. Okay, so we got, 70 plus feet of water. You've got a deep trough through the center. This is the waypoint right here where Ted caught that 10-pound fish. As soon as we hooked it, I entered the waypoint so we can troll right back. You can see our trolling pattern going back and forth, but you can see the fish we're marking here as well. When you do get a fish, it's nice to save it in the GPS and just keep trolling back and forth over that area, because usually where there's one, there's more. Hey, if you're serious about your fishing, then you should pay attention to your electronics. Used to their fullest, they're amazing. Whether you're using them to find structure in fish, or marking spots, or for navigational purposes, you should never leave shore without them. Hey, when we return, some more steelhead action.
We'll be right back after this.
It's nice when you can get a nice flat rock like this to stand on, too.
This tip of the week is sponsored by Coleman.
Short ones, fat ones, long ones, skinny ones. I'm not talking about fish. I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about floats. They come in all shapes and sizes. And Dan, let's take a minute away from the great fishing action and talk a little bit about rigging up for steelhead. I've got a couple of fill floats here. I've got the River Master and the Turbo Master. The Turbo Master has the wire on the bottom. And how do you know when to get a big float or a smaller float?
Yeah, I would say it would depend on the river flow and the depth you're fishing. Always fish with a small float if you've got, a lesser depth, 3 feet, 4 feet of water. When you get into the 7 foot, 8 foot range, you want a larger float, obviously, to hold more shot, to get it down to where the fish are.
Okay, now when it comes to split shot, you know, I've got a variety of shot here, and you know, these containers are great because they come in some of the small micro shot right up to the larger size. What about going with the old style shot that has the wings on it?
The removable shot. Well, we like to stay away from those for a couple of reasons. They certainly do create line twist, and even worse when you're casting as many times as we are, they tangle much easier than would a plain round shot.
I suggest carrying a number of different sizes of shot and floats with you, right? Because you never know what you're going to encounter when you're out there fishing, right?
That's absolutely correct.
You know, and today you basically knew the sizes of floats to go with because you're familiar with the holes that we fish. But many times, you know, when you're out there on a river that you may be fishing some new water on it or a new river, you better have a good selection just to sort of take care of any situation, right?
Absolutely.
Well, what do you think? Time to get back to some more of that steelhead action? That's a pretty good one. One thing about this cold water, they don't jump very often when it's just above freezing. Nice when you can get a nice flat rock like this to stand on too. All right, well, you said that a little bit of temperature change, like now that it's a little bit like midday, you figure that even if the water warms up a half a degree, you think it makes a difference at times?
Yeah, half a degree to 1 degree. Clearly they've been active just in the last half hour or so.
So hang in there is what you're saying.
Hang in there. Nice, beautiful meal. Did you want me to grab it?
Oh yeah, look at that. That is a perfect specimen, isn't it? That one's probably been in the river for a while, eh?
Yeah, this one here certainly it's been in longer than the other ones. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Look at that, right at the edge of the mouth.
Yeah. Oh, you look. The float went down. Look at that.
Look at that.
It wasn't hooked. It was just in the crook of the hook. You know what I mean? In the bend of the hook. Which goes to show you, though, if you keep a tight line on them. Well, I'll tell you, we've had a heck of a day, Dan. I got to go get the camera and get a picture. I mean, that's just such a nice colored rainbow. But really appreciate it, my man, bringing me out here. Once again, you haven't let me down. It's our second time fishing, and you pick your times. And a lot of people ask me, you know, how many times do you have blowouts and not get what you want? Well, so far I'm batting 2 for 2 with you. Oh, there it goes. It's gone. All right.
Comes in when it wants to and leaves when it wants to as well.
So far we're batting 100%. 2 for 2. You can't beat that. I don't know whether I have one of your sandwiches your wife made or get another row bag on. Maybe both. The winter months can have some of the best steelhead fishing of the year. If you time it right and can brave the cold, then you'll be in for some hot action. Hey, we'll see you next week right here for some more real fishing. That is a chrome, baby. Top heavy doesn't help. Oh, wow. I'm full, ain't Coming, Jimmy? I'm coming with you, man. That is a fish of a lifetime. Whoa. Well, that is just amazing. Look at that thing. Oh, yeah. Wow. That was too cool. Oh,